एक नाइट मैं तुम कसम जाऊंगा पर धीरे धीरे जैसे गाना चलने लगेगा और गाना मेरा धीरे धीरे आई कैन डू दैट एवरी टॉम डिक हैरी कमिंग इन एंड जस्ट डिसिंग मी बिकॉज रफ्तार जवाब देगा तो फिर हमारे भी करियर में सपोर्ट मिलेगा एंड पीपल आर गोना लुक एट इट एज अ डेविड वर्सेस गोलायत वेयर आई एम द गोलायत नाउ ऑफ कोर्स एंड पीपल लाइक डेविड विनिंग बिकॉज दे एसोसिएट मोर टू समबडी ऑन द ग्राउंड आई केम अप फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड कि अगर कुछ ऐसा बोल दूंगा जो पिंच करे या थोड़ा स्पाइसी हो उसके चलने के ज़्यादा आसार हैं दैन ज्ञान दूँ मतलब प्रूफ है मेरा मंटोयत गाना इज नॉट बिगर दैन माई बीवी मरवा के मानेगी टू बी रियली ऑनेस्ट इट वाज काइंड ऑफ इजी फॉर मी मैन इट वाज नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट आई हैव seen some shit but I have always kept myself really away from it. I never wanted that power. I understood that I can command that power through respect as well.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guests today are very talented, of course. They are artists who have done crazy work, who are not defined by anything, and of course, they're also uninhibited when they talk, and that is very important. I'm of course talking about the team of Bajao, a very apt name because when necessary, they're not afraid to Bajao people. I'm of course talking about Raftaar and Tanuj. Hello.
Hello, Rudrani.
What up?
Lovely to be back.
Lovely to be back. A pretty apt intro though. I think both of you are people who are not afraid to talk when necessary.
No, we don't mince words.
बजाना कभी-कभी खुद बज जाता है. You all don't plan to do it.
हाँ.
But I think you don't mince your words. That's beautiful.
जिसे बजाने की जरूरत होती है तो उन्हें बजाते हैं. Otherwise, we are well behaved. Yeah, it
Well,
depends.
but I think it's not planned. Na?
No,
That's
it's not
the
planned.
point
Na.
of it.
Instinctive, na.
Bilkul.
Yeah.
Raftaar, what do you have to say? What I
I'm
like
famous for
I
that.
like the smile that Raftaar.
His smile says it all.
What do you
I've
have
been
to
known
say?
for it.
You've been known for it. You know
I
what?
say my heart out, man. I speak it out.
And it is a necessity. I love doing conversations with people who say it as it is. It's important.
Yeah.
And on that note, you know, you're of course being a rapper here. People might think it's easy to do, but it's a very different thing when you're doing
Yeah,
it
when
on
you're playing a
screen.
rapper, you're not.
Exactly. You're a different person. But you know, because you said I am who I am and I usually speak my mind, there has been a drastic change from the Raftaar that we knew in the beginning, who was still doing very well, who was independent, who was out there making sure, struggling and making sure you do what you want to do. And today, the rapper who's arrived. There has been a shift in the way you look at things. You're honest, but you're of course taking aback, holding that anger. How did you reach this stage? I want to understand जो अंदर का rage होता है ना, वो किस तरह से निकलता है आज? क्योंकि I think you don't do it the way you were before.
See, I am still angry.
You are?
I still have the rage. But now I have learned how to use it as a fuel towards my work rather than burning my brain cells and feeling bad about it. Or being emotionally weak, I stay emotionally strong. You can use it in multiple ways. Like, I still had that pent up anger, rage that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I used it to launch the character called Babbar because he has that anger and rage.
Yeah.
You
see
will
that.
find a glimpse of me if I wouldn't have changed in Babbar.
है ना?
Yep.
Writing songs when you are in that rage, which you have done, and I'm sure Babbar is also that kind of artist, like you say, helps you, right?
Rage is not rage if it's only about demeaning people, because sometimes to prove yourself right, you have to demean people and make sure you come out as the righteous one, which I as a writer feel doesn't fuel the real reflections of my emotions. I have now found peace in a lot of ways because I'm really happy to be where I am. I've learned how to channelize all that energy. But when you get, like, I'm just not trying to plug the show.
Sure,
I have
please
to,
do.
But yeah, I have to, but I'm not trying to plug the show.
Sure.
But when I got Babbar, this character is exactly if Raftaar wouldn't have ever changed.
From that Raftaar.
But then, yeah, from that Raftaar.
So you wouldn't do diss tracks anymore ever? It's
If
a very
necessary.
interesting question because
If it's necessary, no, it's if it's really necessary, if there is something I really have to say, and I really feel is right. Because see, I was really, if you're mentioning about the same guy,
yeah, Emiway, of course.
Emiway, right? So if him and me had a very close relationship to begin with, and he took me in the wrong for something I had said, I felt bad about it because I never expected him to behave like that with me, is where it happened. Now, when people look at that as a strategy and use that blueprint to launch themselves into career space, then I can't respond because they're looking for a mouth to talk back to make it a two-way street in conversation. I can do that. Every Tom, Dick, Harry coming in and just dissing me because Raftaar जवाब देगा तो फिर हमारे भी career में support मिलेगा and people are gonna look at it as a David versus Goliath where I am the Goliath now, of course, and people like David winning because they associate more to somebody on the ground. I came up from the ground, but those guys have now grown up. The new generation is looking at somebody their own age who's trying to make it. It's bigger than just words that can be said.
Because you said that, I also want to say, you know, it's interesting for me because I had spoken to Emiway just recently. He also, in that said that today,
We grew
I
up,
only
man.
have to respond. Yeah, he's both of you come from a very different space now, you know, because you all, of course, you know, everybody evolves. He said that I am here in this space to support everybody. And today, if any pot shots are not taken at me, I would not go in that way at all. Because, and he's like, the only reason I respond is because my fans get upset about it. And now I want to.
Yeah. Do you mind if we continue this conversation?
No, I'm actually
Because
really,
this is something that's not been spoken about
Yeah.
much. I'm glad because now this is being spoken in the right manner.
Sure.
Usually it's dragged into a way कि
No, that-
tadka hona chahiye.
Yeah.
This
but
is
my
not
intention
tadka.
is not
No,
that.
no, I
Raftaar.
understand. I understand.
I'm
No,
saying
no.
that you all are very
I can,
mature now.
I can sense that, and it's necessary.
Sure.
It's necessary. See, we are not two entities that survive on our people fighting.
Yeah.
Okay? There are people who survive on their groups fighting amongst each other because it keeps them on the top. We are not that. We are not just about our diss songs. We can't have a song dropping and people be commenting below saying कि भाई अगला diss कब निकाल रही है, ये गाना तो अच्छा है. Then you become about that. Like it's almost like you typecast an actor. For example, he plays a lover boy in two shows, है ना? And then everybody's like, Tanuj,
वही कर.
why didn't you play a lover boy, man? ये क्या कर रहा है? You don't want that to happen to you. So we
Right.
don't be typecasted as diss rappers, which had already started happening. Which I read कि ये diss rapper है, ये diss rapper है. Diss rapper कोई नहीं है, rapper है. Diss is a part of what we did to put our points out.
Yeah.
We can't be just about that.
It doesn't
We
define
make
who you are.
music. Like when I did, like I'm also dissing somebody in this.
Yeah, exactly why I was coming.
Yeah, no,
right.
but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Now there's a story behind it.
क्यों किया?
वो कैरेक्टर है क्यों किया? इसलिए नहीं किया कि जनता को
चाहती थी।
एंगेजमेंट चाहिए. कर ही नहीं रहा था, इन्होंने करवाया. कहानी का पार्ट यही है कि
Which is why I was gonna pull him in
ये
now.
उसको करवाते ही है कि पाजी, this is where you have to do it because it's about the right thing.
नहीं,
Now
जवाब
it's
दे-
not about the
करो
right
ये,
thing.
मतलब करना पड़ेगा ये.
देखो बाल की खाल नहीं खींच सकते ना.
हम्म.
एक बारी बाल तोड़ दिया बस, उसके बाद उसकी खाल क्यों खींचते रहने
Correct.
हैं? तो वो वैसा हो जाता है. Can't stretch a bubblegum for too long, man. It loses its taste.
You know, you've put it very well. I will come back to it, but here is another interesting conversation, and I obviously want you to
Sure.
come in here. Tanuj, like he rightly said, right? You are playing that guy. You know, it's very interesting that this show shows that, you know, they've brought in music artists, underground music artists. Then you brought in these people who are trying to hustle, you know,
Yeah.
trying to make their own selves survive, make money, and there are gangs involved in it.
Yeah.
It is actually, this is, Delhi ka world is like that. I mean, we live in our own worlds to realize that there are people like that. You know, a lot of underground artists have been associated
Right.
with gangs. A person here is one of the very few people actually who spoke about
Yes.
and broke it down to a lot of people, saying that, you know, he dissociated from such a group like that because, you know, you don't want to be that person. You get very sucked into the world of it and you get sort of seduced by the idea of the power in it.
Power
Right?
should be handled in the right way.
Correct. And I'll want your comment on that, of course, because, you know, you've seen it for
Firsthand,
real.
firsthand,
Right? And it's so interesting. I want you to talk more. Tell me, Tanuj, from your point of view, how did you look at this? Because this show actually brings a little bit that gives you an insight into what he actually spoke
I come from a very different background. I have a very different outlook to life.
Yeah.
I have seen a different life and lifestyle around me, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we know the life that we have seen. You can, till a point, go on other people's experiences, what you witness, what you see. But if you're in the thick of things, it changes just the lens or your framing of life.
Yeah.
So when I first got the narration for Bajao, and then I started reading the script and I started doing a bit of homework and a bit of research, and our directors who are also based in Delhi, so they had a good knowledge about a lot of that world, and all these guys, you know, Sahil Khattar, Sahil Ved,
Correct.
Raftaar. I'm like
Lag raha hai, full.
I'm like, my God, you know, like, because I was the outsider, because I have absolutely no connection with Delhi, like whatsoever. So I had to imbibe a lot based on what these guys were telling me, and it was such an eye opener for me. Everything to do with the underground hip hop scene, to do with the different gangs, to do with everything that you've mentioned
Yeah.
right now, you know, and it just really piqued my interest as an actor. And for me, when I decide to do a show or be part of a project, I try and place myself in the audience's shoes, and I'm like, would I pay to watch this? It's a different thing with streaming for free, but you get the drift, right?
But it's done very well.
I'm like, would I be interested in watching this? Would I want to invest a certain amount of
Yeah.
time watching content like that? And the definitive answer is yes, of course. You know, you look at your own role, you look at everything else. But I like the show in its entirety, and I'm like, I need to be a part of this, and this is something very hatke from everything I've done. So I was imbibing. So I still am. I still am. You know, even like, because there's so many scenes, you're shooting your scenes in isolation, right? On a web series, you come and when you watch the finished product, you're like, oh my God, all this is also happening.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it translates very different from what's on the page to what
And
actually
how
happens.
you've acted also.
And how you've conveyed that to the audience. You know, different actors bring a different sort of energy and have a different wavelength of communicating stuff to the audience. Sometimes more is more, sometimes less is more. I come from the school of thought where less is always more. You know, it's not about the words. It's not tell business. It's show business. It's show business. You know, you got to show. You should. So I just feel so it's been absolutely fascinating to be a part of this journey with all these eclectic, wonderful set of people, cast, crew, everybody, you know, and it just helped me learn so much.
Sometimes when we all know the associations of gangs, of how, you know, upcoming artists and how they look at it, and the culture is here abroad as well. It's obviously here as well. There is that connect. People get seduced by the power that gangs offer you. It becomes very cool to be like that associated. You know, you can take the names. You know, you have come out of it and you've spoken about it. Does it scare you sometimes for younger artists who get seduced by this world? Because for artists, self music artist nahi rehta hai, kuch aur ban jata hai.
See, another reason for me choosing this project and Babbar as a character was, he's the son of a gangster. But he has the least. He doesn't do anything to be associated with them. He's just the son of a gangster.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do anything with that gang life. He doesn't make music about that gang life. He just makes music and he stays in a home which is full of a bunch of gangsters. So for me, it was symbolic of the fact that you can be in midst of the drama and not choose to be part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I said, from your own personal experiences, was that the way you looked at it also when you left and you were like, you know what, I have to protect myself when you were in it as well? Because you did protect yourself. It was important. You were young.
To be really honest, it was kind of easy for me, man. It was not very difficult. I have seen some shit, but I've always kept myself really away from it. I never wanted that power. I understood that I can command that power through respect as well. And respect can also be gained through likability, through creativity. Like, do you think our actors are gangsters? No. They are liked for their craft.
Yeah.
So I chose to be crafty.
Damn.
I love that answer. Look at those liners.
Yeah.
You should have written the dialogues. But you know, at some point I also
This show, we did.
Yeah.
you wrote, right?
Yeah,
We
actually
custom,
have, yeah.
we
I was
custom
watching,
tailored.
I'm like,
We are the
why do I feel-
uncredited
Basically,
writers.
they had the conversation jotted down for us. A point, B point.
Yeah.
But how we say
I
it
knew it.
is all of us.
I had a feeling.
All of
See,
us
because
being
at the
us.
end of the day, writers are writing their thoughts, and then it's our responsibility to communicate that to the audience. But it has to come from us. So without losing context, if we are able to kind of communicate elevate it and communicate that in our own words, you know, whatever it is, whatever situations the characters find
Yeah, bro,
themselves
we
in, I
can't
think that's-
guarantee the situations.
Yeah.
All of this
Otherwise, वो
emerges
थोड़ा
from.
monotonous भी हो जाता है, you know. So yeah.
ये सब situations
Yeah.
होती हैं, कौन क्या करता है,
Yeah,
कैसे
yeah.
वहां तक पहुंचता है. Gladly,
And
मेरे
some-
आसपास ऐसी
Yeah.
situation नहीं थी.
And somewhere you bring your life experience.
के आसपास ऐसी
You know, like it's a
situation.
very simple thing as an actor. If I had to portray this role, say 5 years back, I would have played him differently. If I had to portray it
Yeah.
5 years from now,
True.
you just play differently
ये तो
because
है.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
your experiences subconsciously kind of alter the way you think, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you communicate, the way
Yeah.
you grow as an actor. So many different aspects to it. So yeah.
You know, like you rightly said,
Yeah.
Look at the underground music, the Indian music artist scene right now. It's blown up.
Yeah.
मतलब जब आप you know, like you say, I think all of these guys walked so the rest could run, because you know that is how we put it, right? Because you all at that time they were not taking you all seriously. And
The
look
burden
at
of being
thing-
the first ones.
the burden of being the first ones. Raftaar, it's very interesting because you know you of course are trying to show, you know, someone telling you try to make a commercial rap here, even in the song trying to tell you as an artist ki yaar zyada indie maj, you know what I'm trying to say, make it for it.
Views.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have views, exactly what I was
Yeah.
doing. I said, and that's the world today.
Yeah.
Raftaar.
But
And
we
it's
juggle
only
it very
released.
rightly, man. I think hip hop, like rappers,
Hmm.
are the only people who can juggle this rightly. Like you can have a Badshah who has a song that goes 500 million, and again a song that will just cross 5 million because he put his heart out in it. So he's not going to feel sad about it. He's going to feel happy that I can do both, make music that makes me money and make music that puts me at ease.
Yeah.
It's not difficult for us.
You have found the balance.
We are jugglers.
One for
Of
you,
course.
one for them. That's it.
I do a Ghana Ko Sutta, I get like 100 million.
Exactly.
I do a hard drive volume 1, which gives me a lot of
Creative
fan
satisfaction.
love, people love. Then I do a trap pra, which gives me a lot of love like that. Then I get to do a Bajao. Then I get to do a Big Boss OTT ka anthem, which like kuch bhi kar sakta hu na main. At the end of the day, my craft is a storytelling craft, and I can tell a story of any side I choose.
You're also opening avenues, right, for a lot of people out there who thought rappers can only do this. You've never considered yourself only rapper. I think that's interesting because you always an artist.
Yeah.
Which again shows us to why you're acting. You know, he calls himself.
Like
a
I
lot of
say-
actors
He
call
never
him-
Like I
writes
say, I'm a
himself into
jack of
corner.
all trades.
Yeah.
I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of some. Not none.
Nice.
Master of some. So I'm trying to be a master of everything, which is not possible, but I will try till I can breathe, man.
Yeah. Sometimes the boundaries and the rules that we set for ourselves is the biggest villain in our lives,
तू
right?
तो
Because they were
boundary
like,
inside edge में तोड़ चुका है.
Because
कई
Such a little.
कई
But
तरीके
again,
no,
से.
because the thing is, oh, I'm only an actor. I can do this. I can't do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't
But
do.
you know, actors will still call themselves actors. He's been very specific in calling himself an artist. I don't know, I might be wrong.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
अब मैं डायरेक्टर भी बनूंगा, देखता जा.
Yeah.
Oh, you must know that's
मेरी
interesting.
And he will be a
मेरी
good
नजरों
director.
में मैं ही थोड़ी
And he will be a
आर्टिस्ट हूँ.
good
मेरी
director.
नजरों में मैं औरों को भी देखता हूँ
हाँ.
कि ये
He
करेगा तो
observes.
कैसा लगेगा.
And in order to be a good director, you need your powers of observation, keen observation have to be there. I saw him, so I was observing him, observing us
Oh,
on set,
really?
and I'm like, this guy has it in him.
But I think Kalamkar also the one that you, I mean, of course, the idea was to sort of notice people and put them and
Yeah,
make
yeah,
them
yeah.
sure, right? Like what you did with that and continues to do was exactly that, right? To observe, pick out people who have incredible talent
Yeah.
and make sure that they find the right platform.
And let them do what they do best.
Are you
Yeah.
satisfied with what you've been doing there in that sense?
Yeah, man, we've been falling, getting up, sometimes flying. Matlab, it's all happening together. It's never been done before. A lot of people are not doing it. So we'll get through it and
Absolutely.
get it done in the most prime way.
His
one day.
intent and intention has always
हाँ,
been correct. That is
intention
the,
तो वही
that's the
है.
most important
Intention
thing.
तो दोस्त वही है to
I feel we are here because of so many different things having
Yeah.
to fall into place for us to be here present with you in this moment. And if we don't give back in some way, shape, or form, and we don't pave the way forward for the next generation of upcoming, artists,
make it easier for others.
yeah, it's needed.
Like you said,
Circle of life.
yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and like I mentioned, the underground hip hop scene right now is blowing up. But what is that scares you? You, from your observations, can tell me one thing that you observe that you feel needs to be under control so the scene can continue. It can be an observation. You're not part of the scene, I know, but you've now done research. What is the thing that you feel as an audience who's consuming from
See,
your side? And from
okay.
your side, I of course want you to be a person who's part of this entire thing. To say what is something that bothers you that needs to really be changed. And yeah.
See, I feel irrespective of, it could be the underground rap scene, it could be something, if you move into, say, cricket, the
Sure.
IPL, if you talk about the film industry, suddenly someone becomes a star overnight and all. I just feel it can be a very heady rush and you need to pad yourself and surround yourself with the right set of people who call a spade, who keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, because otherwise, it's very easy to kind of lose focus and just get carried away in the heat of the moment and stuff and all that, So talent needs to be nurtured and people need to understand that, forget young, old, experience and experience, ignorance and innocence are not the same thing anymore. You need to understand, are you here for 2 years or are you going to be here for the next 20? What you do right now will determine what happens in your future. So I think that's extremely important, no matter what walk of life you are. Yeah.
See, I feel we are a bunch of chemicals being mixed in the same pot.
Oh my
It
God.
can result in a life-saving formula
Mm.
or in a blast. I feel chaos is very necessary for creation and evolution to exist. So none of us can stop each other. We're going to do our part and it's going to result in something we have no idea about.
So, but there's no criticism as such. Ki yaar, is there something that they can improve right now? So you're a part of this. So.
See, we are still very new, like the hip-hop scene in India. You really need to understand one thing, and a lot of people who are watching this, you have only seen the beginnings and the beginning journey of rappers right now. You've only seen the start point. You haven't seen how a rapper ends up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You have not seen that. We have seen rappers end outside,
Yeah.
getting old or probably dying before they should have.
Yeah.
We have not seen the end of a rapper's journey
Yeah.
entirely in India.
Yeah.
So it's too early to talk about that.
Fair enough. You know, the only time you've been really blunt is when you were commenting on Honey's song. And I want to know, do lyrics bother you, Raftaar? Because you went all out on Instagram and it was great. Everybody said he's right. You know, the songs have been, you know, it's something that you clearly said that is this the kind of songs that you want to make? Are you saying that? Why was that important for you?
See, initially at that period of time, I kind of felt like I was doing what was right and it was not getting the right kind of attention. And why is it that, like, I think people feed on hate way faster than love.
Yeah.
And anything nice, like एक बंदा सड़क पे 3 गमले लगा रहा होगा ना, उसकी कल फोटो नहीं डलेगी, उसके बारे में बात नहीं होगी, पर 3 जने लड़ जाएंगे ना, तो वो शायद इंस्टाग्राम पे वायरल हो सकता है. वैसा ही म्यूजिक के साथ है कि अगर कुछ ऐसा बोल दूंगा जो पिंच करे या थोड़ा स्पाइसी हो, उसके चलने के ज्यादा आसार हैं दैन ज्ञान दूं. मतलब प्रूफ है, मेरा मंटोयत गाना इज नॉट बिगर दैन माय बीवी मरवा के मानेगी.
So it was important for you to mention that
Yeah.
that why are we
To
becoming
get it
these
off
people?
my chest.
Yeah.
मतलब to keep my conscience clear कि देख मेरे को पता है
कि गाना
कि क्या जरूरी है, एक एज अ राइटर क्या जरूरी है, पर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे नाउ आई रियलाइज कि व्हाट दे वर आल्सो स्पीकिंग अबाउट इज हैपनिंग इन द सोसाइटी. तुक्के थोड़ी मार रहे हैं, वो भी वही लिख रहे हैं जो आसपास उन्होंने देखा है.
I think this entire session, this entire interview has been extremely therapeutic to him to get a bunch of stuff
Oh man,
off his
I
chest,
hope
which he
so.
probably
Very
wanted
clear-headed.
to,
I
you know.
hope so.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
very clear-headed, my bro.
you know, have you noticed he never before answering a question goes nothing. He's clear.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he needs to and wants to communicate.
अच्छा, body language expert.
नहीं सही है भाई, actor हूँ ना.
Wonderful.
I have to observe.
Absolutely. Some songs, I'll ask you some, I'll ask
Oh,
him
God.
some. Okay. And guess the artist and complete the lyrics. It's obviously rap.
Oof.
Okay. Here's one for you. पहला है अंतरा तो धीरे से सुनाऊंगा, एक एक लाइन में तुमको समझाऊंगा. Okay. Can you guess the artist? And the rest too, he can guess.
I don't know this.
Okay. Would you want to guess the next 2 lines?
I kind of feel like this is Raftaar.
I also feel like it's Raftaar. Is it swag?
Is it swag मेरा देसी है? Oh damn.
It's so different when you like say it like a
तो बाकी के 2
statement.
लाइन
पहला है अंतरा तो धीरे से सुधा
See, now
होगा,
when you do-
एक भाई मैं तुमको समझाऊंगा, पर
That's
धीरे धीरे
fine,
जैसे गाना चलने लगेगा और गाना मेरा धीरे धीरे.
There you go. You see what it did
There is
there.
a flow too.
But I love it. By the way, I love this line, which is why I particularly picked it. Okay, then. राजनीति में यहाँ सबसे ज्यादा पैसा क्यों है? पब्लिक को नहीं दिखता वैसे वाला पैसा क्यों है?
I know this. Wait, I think so.
If you can complete the 2 lines,
Oh.
okay. Even if you guess the artist now, it's fine.
Of course, Vivian, man.
I can't complete it, but I know this song.
So you can, you know the name. You know the song name?
I know
He's
no. I know the song because someone had mashed it with one of my shows. That's how I know about it.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Divine.
Huh.
नाम? You know the song name?
No.
Of course you know it.
मैं भी
Divine.
अचानक से इतना कंफ्यूज हो गया ना कि ये कौन से वाला गाना था, but I know this.
काम 25.
काम 25,
Kam
man,
25,
yeah.
I picked up.
काम
Kapila.
25, yeah.
So no, then I think you won't know the lyrics. Okay, fine. Public की सेवा फिर पैसे वाला नेता क्यों है? It's basically, I love this
Gully
song.
Boy, no?
नहीं, same. इसका
नहीं,
मैंने
काम
अच्छा,
25,
यार।
man, secret key.
काम 25. Okay. नींदें मेरी तूने हराम कर दी, गंदी मेरी तूने जबान कर दी. Come on! It's very recent. Come on. इसके आगे बोलूंगी तो you'll guess it. तेरी कसम बिल्कुल सीधी सादी थी मैं, तूने लड़की
खराब कर दी.
Okay.
Oh, bro, you're very right when you say it in the flow, it sounds different.
हाँ यार.
नींदें मेरी तूने. हाँ यार, एकदम ऐसे हो गया. मैंने कहा यार इतना offended
That's
rapper
what I'm
कौन?
telling you. Yeah, rap first.
That is why I don't want to rap it.
Oh, you
because
said-
you'll guess
you said-
it.
no,
I
no,
don't want to
you- that was the.
She's
हाँ.
making tough questions for me tougher. Yeah.
Okay, the last one, बस हो गया, मुझे नहीं तो मार डालेंगे. The last one is very easy. सीमेंट से निकला गुलाब.
ऐतिहासिक किताब हर हल का जवाब पूरे हुए मेरे ख्वाब.
चलो,
समझदार,
one
होशियार,
save,
समझदार.
one save. But of course, this is Divine Kohinoor. So,
See,
Divine Kohinoor.
what Badshah bhai's song part you did, that was not part of the rap. That was
It
the
is not.
female
मैं
song
तो
singer's
rapping.
verse.
If I do the rap, I know you'll not be getting it. You forgot it.
गेम में लौंडों का बापू बेटा एक तू ही थोड़ी है जो मुझे डैडी बोलती है.
That is true.
See, now that I would have got. कुछ रैपर होगा कम बैक की नहीं हो रहा. इनसे गेम क्रैक की नहीं हो रहा.
ठीक है. I played it smart. I thought commercial दे देती हूँ because बाकी का रैप किसी ने guess ही नहीं किया. मैंने कहा commercial line use करती हूँ. कोई नहीं. Listen, it doesn't matter. At the end, amazing people. I love
At the
this
end, we don't
conversation.
pretend.
At the end, we don't pretend
Yeah.
like we didn't in this interview.
Absolutely.
At all, man. Like,
Okay, thank you so much.
we only act when we are paid.
That's true. Always. Artist needs to get paid. Please.
Yes.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much.
Thank you,
It was
Rudrani.
lovely. All the best for Bajao.
Thank
I hope you guys had fun in the conversation.
We had a
as well.
blast.
lot.
Yeah, it's been one of the most fun interviews. One of the last interviews for today, but one of the most fun ones.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Send you guys lots of love once
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
Likewise.
you. What is this? Let me show me. I'll do this. Is this okay?